you will understand that even in a situation, I remember, maybe Pastor cannot remember very well when I told her in the weekend that my kid is sick. She's having some form of fever, and there's like a phrase she used. I don't know if she remembers. She was like, "Your daughter is not sick; she is healthy, fighting sickness." So, and for me, you see, I was viewing that she is sick. So, from the pastor's perspective, my daughter is healthy. The only thing she's fighting is she's fighting sickness. And when you try to relate like to this topic, you find that when you receive that deliverance, you stop viewing things from a negative perspective. Always you come from a positive perspective. You see, like a Christian, you will find that you are no longer into bondage. You will find that you are a free person fighting the bondage. So all the time you view yourself as a conqueror, you are trying to fight something that's trying like to come within your territory. So it's like you are defending your territory all the time. So once you understand the background of this or the genesis of this topic, then another question that we need to ask ourselves is that what are some of the steps that we need to follow in order to renew our minds? So once you also try to understand how can I renew my mind, then another question that we need also to ask ourselves, why are you supposed to renew your mind? So in this particular study, I'll try to answer two specific questions, the how and why questions. So first, we'll begin with the how question, and on this how question, I'll try to break it down into 7 steps of like some of the steps you need to follow. These are some of the steps I was able to identify, but I know readers of the word, you will find that there's a lot of literature out there that can guide you. There are thousands and thousands of ways you can be able to follow, but for this particular purpose, allow me to focus on this particular 7. So the first one is stop waiting for an outside miracle to change your mind. Stop waiting for an outside miracle to change your mind. And why am I saying that we need to stop an outside miracle to change our mind? You will come to discover that, allow me to use the particular scenario we are in. We are towards electioneering. You find people have been complaining throughout the region that economy is bad, everything is bad. Yes, it's bad, but the question I've always been asking people as an individual, what are you doing to make it good? That's the question I usually ask people. Everything is bad. It's not only in Kenya, it's not only in Africa, even in the United States, people are protesting. Things are difficult. So the big question is, when you are sitting here, when you are sitting in Deliverance Church, what are you doing as an individual to improve this situation? Because if all the time you will be complaining, waiting for something from outside to happen into your life, you will find that nothing will happen whatsoever. So what you need to do is that first you need to analyze the situation, analyze yourself. I'm praying like I want to own this particular land in future. I'm praying that I want to be point A, B, C, D in future. What am I doing to my mind in order to prepare myself for this particular period? So for instance, if you are like a student, you are going to do your exam at the end of the year. You see, that exam is a manifestation of what you have been building from January to December. What you have been feeding with your mind is what will be manifested in that exam. Also in our lives as individuals, if I'm at the job, whatever I'm doing, if I'm targeting like after 2 years, I need this promotion. The big question is, what am I doing that is different from others? That my manager, my supervisor, the management of the company will see that this particular person is in need of a promotion, but not another person. So that once you start doing that, such like making those steps, you'll find that when even you are coming into church and you are receiving blessings from our pastor, you find that those blessings will slowly now be manifesting unto your life. Because sometimes as believers, we have a tendency whereby we come to church, we pray, we manifest, pastor come, even go spirit unto us, manifest good things upon our life. But when we go back, we are back to normal. So you find that whatever I'm doing at work, whatever I'm doing at my business, whatever I'm doing at any place I am, I'm doing things like any other person. So you find that that miracle that was supposed to manifest itself upon your life is no longer manifesting in your life. Why? The reason is for you are waiting for an outside miracle. When pastor is saying, receive your land, when you go to your business, you are not improving your processes. You are just there, waiting to receive that land from somewhere. And that cannot happen in any life. Because you find that even the Bible itself says, man will eat out of your sweat. So you need to sweat for something to happen at your life. There's no day you just come, sit, go back and expect manifestation to happen at your life. You need to come to church, pray for guidance, pray for that good health, let the pastor prophesy the good things upon your life, go back, take it as a challenge, and now try to change everything you are doing to align yourself with that miracle you are waiting. So that at any given time, you are ready for that miracle, and sure it will happen. So the next point, the next step is stop believing that you can't control your thoughts. This is something that I've seen in many people, because we find that in the current situation where we are, people are driven by their feelings. You find that I did this because I was feeling this way. That's a person who can't control the thoughts. That's a person who is being controlled by the feelings. And you see, feelings are like temperature. When things are hot, it's like you are behaving different. When things are cold, you are behaving different. As a believer, you need to be in control of your thoughts. You need to be in control of your mind. Even if something is happening here, and when I'm sitting there, I know that this is not the right thing that is supposed to be done. I need to stick on my lane, and I need to bring controlling whatever that is happening. So you find people like somebody even let me give an example, especially coming to church. I give an excuse that maybe it's raining. I won't be able to come to church. You see, this somebody who's being controlled by circumstance. Is feeling that it's cold out there. There's no way I can stop outside. There's no way I can be able to move outside. So let me just stay inside. You see, such like a person, to make a mark in life is quite cumbersome. That's a person you can try to, even if you prophesy for him, even if you do what you guide him every step. Once somebody is not willing to control his thoughts, anytime, any given time, you'll find that in whatever he's doing, this person will always stagnate. Because first he will begin on a good progress, then after some time he will start staggering based on circumstances that are facing this person. But as a believer, the main challenge will be, once you are in control of your thoughts, if you are in a business, sometimes business are up and down. I've been in the industry for a bit some time, and you'll find that most people, even in terms of business or employment, they are always ups and downs. And for those that you are able to withstand that force, always thrive in the long run. But for those who are like, I won't work here because maybe my boss is a bit harsh, conditions are not good, you find that those are people who are working with the feeling. Those are, I usually call them short-term people. Because these are people who are there for a few months, they will resign, then leave the others now to continue pursuing their dream. And you'll find that in the long run, those who stay, those who are able to control their thoughts, those who are able to gain control of everything, always thrive in the long run. And as a believer, I want you to be people who can be able to resist, thrive in any situation. Because at the end of the tunnel, what I usually tell people, as Christians, we are not meant to be, because you find that there's another day I had a believer saying, Christians, we are meant to suffer. And my question I asked myself, where is it written that we must suffer? There's nowhere that is written that we must suffer. Because people tend to misinterpret the Bible. The suffering that is being referred to the Bible is like you need to toil for what you are supposed to get. You are not supposed just to sit there and get something for free. So as believers, even for the church to grow, you find that at the end of the tunnel, we are in need of your tithe. We are in need of your offerings. And how can we improve on our tithe and offering? We need to work hard so that we can have a lot of income from our end. Once my income increase, I know that my offering in the church will also grow. Once my income increase, I know that also my tithe within the church will grow. And when the tithe and offering within the church improves, it implies that as a church, we can also be able to do a meaningful thing. We won't be stagnating on small things. But if as a believer we are not growing in our social life, you find that even the church to grow, it will be a bit difficult, because whoever is part of the church is not growing wherever you are. So, for instance, if I'm earning 10,000 from the beginning of the year towards the end of the year, we find that the church is entitled to 1,000 only from your earning. That's from January to December. But if you make an improvement and start earning something like 100,000 per month, you find that now the church also improves from 1,000 to 10,000. And you see, once you're on the 10,000 mark, there's no need for some of the small things to come back to you to ask you for something. Already those are some of the things you have already solved for the church. So as believer, we urge you, also try wherever you are, try to grow. Once you grow, it's not only for your own personal benefit, know that the church is also benefiting from your growth. So whatever you are, wherever you are, know that you are a representation of the church, the body of Christ. So do everything knowing that whatever I'm doing, it has consequences, be it to the family, my family level, and also to the church. My third point is that what you feed in your mind becomes your mindset. And as I said, our mindset is like our driver. Whatever I do, how I behave, how I talk, always depends with what I fed my mind. It's like in a computer class, will tell you output is usually dependent on the input. So whatever you are feeding your mind, and this also comes hand in hand, you'll find that we have those believers who opens the Bible only on Sundays. We have those believers, maybe you read the word once per week, even some once per month. So such like a believer, you find that in the kingdom of God, you are a bit weak. When challenges come, you are not ready for any challenge, because you have not fed your mind with what is supposed to be fed with. Most of us will find that our mind is fed with things of the world. We are not fed with the word of God. We are not we don't read the Bible on a continuous basis. We don't take our time to interpret this Bible, like what this scripture is all about. So some of us will find that if we find ourselves in a situation that Jesus was found himself in the world when the devil was tempting him, we'll find that Jesus was not thinking about which verse to use. The verses were ready for him. When the devil is throwing this question, this temptation, there was an immediate answer to it. Same applies to a Christian. If you have found yourself in a difficult circumstance, what are your first thoughts on that issue? You will find that some of us, the worst that is usually happen, I usually see with people, you find yourself in a hardship position, even you don't know what to do. That's one of the dangerous positions you find any individual can find himself in. You are confronted with a difficult situation. You are there as a Christian. You don't know what to do at that particular time. So it's like you are at the mercy of anything. Any person can convince you otherwise. So you see, like if I'm in a situation and I can't even know what to do, it implies that even an unbeliever can come and give me an option. And because I'm in need of anything, there's high likelihood that I will follow this advice from an unbeliever. And probably most unbelievers try to utilize that opportunity. And that's why you'll find that some of non-believers even will come and laugh at you and say, you are Christian, but you are suffering more than us. Because you are confronted with a problem, you never prepared your mind very well, now you don't know what to do, now you become a laughing stock for non-believers. You are no longer an example to them. So you see, like in such like a scenario, I will urge you, if you have ever been confronted in such like a scenario, take it as a learning example. It usually happens. I won't say that we are exempted. Even I know the likes of pastor, their growth is usually dependent on how frequently they interpret the word. And they also attend classes day in, day out to improve their understanding. Same way to us. Every day, every time, we need to ensure that we are trying to interpret this Bible very well. And not only the Bible, what I'm also trying to make, even at the place of work. If you are like, I know my brother there is a medic. If you are a medic and you are not, any day, anytime, you are not improving on your skills, and the world is changing at a higher rate, a faster rate, you'll find that you are stuck in the traditional approaches, and already we are advancing on the other side. Like for instance, if you are in a business like, I will give you an example like Telcom. You see, Telcom came, it had an opportunity to grow on the market, but due to those thickness, they were not willing to improve on their processes. Safaricom came. And when Safaricom came, Telcom realized a bit late, when things have already changed. So even in your business, whatever you are doing, try to see the future, what the future is all about, so that you can be able to prepare yourself. And the best way to prepare yourself, some of the methods you can benchmark what is happening out there. You can try to read books. You can try to listen to those who are beyond you. What are they doing? How are they approaching these events? Because at the same time, you'll find that I might be doing my job in X way, but maybe people are already in Z. I need to listen to them. I need to see whatever they are happening. And once you do that, you'll find that your mind slowly will start changing. You won't be that person that when you are doing something that if it's supposed to be X, we are supposed to do X. You'll have that mindset that if I find someone doing in a wide perspective, let me listen also to this person. Let me get the perspective about what is being done on this side. Then using that approach, combining with my approach, I can be able to see now how I can improve now my businesses. And that way, once you are able to apply that in life, you'll find that always you will be on a good position, or you'll be on a you'll have better chances to improve in whatever you do. So my next point will be confess what you believe and not what you feel. And this goes hand in hand with the quote that's majorly, or most people will find that what you confess is usually what you possess. So if you are that person whereby your confession is purely based on your failure, sometimes you find that you are also trying to block your blessings on your way. Maybe, for instance, I'm in a problem whereby maybe I don't have maybe something, or maybe cash or money to dwell in. And based on that circumstances, I wake up and say, this life is a bit hard to me. I don't see if I will survive. You see, already you have confessed yourself that you are not seeing any hope in life. Already you see, once you confess, it's like you are already sealing your own way. Because once I'm saying that there's no way I'm going to be out of this circumstance, it's like I've already told my mind that I don't want to think beyond this. So I need everything unto me is like done. So you'll find that these people usually confess best on their feelings. These people are usually saying, personally I would say they usually tread on a dangerous path, and sometimes most of our blessings are blocked from that perspective, because one to start confess, because probably feeling usually come from the painful things we are undergoing, negative things in our lives, and one to start now confessing those negative things into your life. It's like you are sealing your own covenant that I won't be able to move from point A to point B. I won't be able to do X or Y. So you see, once you start doing those, even your mindset is set in that real thing. I won't be able to do this. But if you are that person whereby you have that hope, even if in a difficult position. And let me give you an example. I want to give you an example from a perspective of a banking industry. And this example I will use, like, we have two people. One person, you'll find that maybe today we have nothing, all of us. We have nothing at all. And maybe you are going to see there's nothing, you are going to, like, no food on the table for today. So one person, maybe there's a check. You have written a check to me. I know the check will take 3 days to clear within the bank. And the other person, maybe there's nothing on the other side. So you see, we have these two people. One is expecting something, and there's another person who is not expecting something at the end of the tunnel. We have this person who's going to sleep hungry, but in the mindset, I know that after 3 days, I will have money somewhere. And I have another person here who's going to sleep hungry, but there's no hope. After those 3 days for him, there's nothing. And this example relates to a believer and an unbeliever. When a believer, you are in a difficult situation, there's always hope that your Father is there. He will provide a solution either tomorrow or next day. So you find that this person who is expecting money in 3 days, even if he will still hungry today, he will be happy, knowing that something after 3 days is coming. But the other person, he will always give up in life because there's no hope anywhere in life. So, as a believer, whenever you are confronted with a difficult situation, remember that example. There's a check somewhere in waiting. So, if at all you start behaving as this non-believer, it's like you are blocking your way. It's like you are telling God to cancel your check. And once you are telling God to cancel your check, it's like you are now moving from that path of a believer to that path of an unbeliever. So always as a believer, have hope in life. And whenever you are confronted in that situation, always remember there's hope at the end of the tunnel. Never give up. Because once you give up, you'll find that now we'll have these issues that we find people are in depression. And depression comes because of these negative thoughts. You start thinking that the world has no meaning for you. The world has ended for your side. So once you allow those negative thoughts to dwell into your mind, you find that other things will now start encroaching your mind. Because just know that mind is not, your mindset or your mind is no longer a playground. It's always a battleground. So whatever you allow your mind to be conquered with, it will always be conquered with, and it will drive your decision. If you allow your negative thoughts to conquer your mind, know that your life will always be a product of negative thoughts. For those who allow their minds to be conquered by positive thoughts, these are people who are always prone to win. Even if you want to win today, but we are always sure that tomorrow there's hope that you will win. So my last category will be to celebrate the process. Some of us, we are prone to complaining. We are not prone to looking back where we come from, how the process has been. And what I usually tell believers is that before you complain today, try to see where you were yesterday. Before you do something today, complain to God that maybe things are not working well. Have you tried to look back and appreciate where you are, like where God was able to move you from yesterday? I'll give an example. I will give my wife as an example of this particular scenario. When I came to Nairobi way back in 2017, I remember that was my first time to come to Nairobi. I was new to town, never knew anywhere within Nairobi, and I came with an hope that I will find something within the town. My parents were a bit against about it, but I told them there's no way, I've already graduated, there's no way I can sit with you in one homestead, always feeding on a meal. As a man, I also need to go out there, look for something. So I came to Nairobi, and the first place I settled was Samadare. For those who know Mlambukubwa, that's the place I used to stay for some time. And I secured an internship in town, whereby we used to pay at most 1,000 shillings per working day. So per month, maybe, if you are successful, we'll go home, because it's also taxed. We'll be able to go home with around 12 to 14,000. That's per month. So once you pay your bills, you find that you remain with around maybe 4,000, 5,000 for food and for transport. So in order to save, we will always walk from Mlambukubwa all the way to Nyayo Stadium. Morning, evening. Be it raining, not raining, we don't care. We walk that way. So where am I sharing this example? Especially to the young graduates in the house, or those maybe who are done in Form 4 and maybe you are trying to look for something. You see, sometimes you can look at people, some who have prospered, and maybe you can think that maybe God is not favoring your side, is favoring other people. The only thing that maybe you don't understand, that you don't understand where these people came from. That's the only thing. You have never heard their story, where they came from, up to where they are. These are people maybe who have been thick and hell, but they appreciated the process. When things were unfolding slowly, you trust in God, you move step by step. And even whenever I'm in this side of the town, the KIAMBU side, even if I find myself in a very compromising situation, when I look back, I usually tell my God that I can't compare with where I was when I came to Nairobi. So, also as believers, I know sometimes, especially for those people in business, I like to sing an example of those people in business, because most of my work entails dealing closely with people in business. And you'll find that sometimes your business might be going to the negative side. Find that someone may have invested 50,000, already on the negative side, even to negative 10,000. And you will tell this person, don't give up. First and foremost, what you need to do, understand, when you set up this business, maybe there's something you got it wrong in the first place. So it's not that the business is not working. It's only that the business is not having a good driver. And that driver is you. So you need to reevaluate yourself. Once you reevaluate yourself, you will understand that in this life, if you want to go far, you need also to celebrate your process. You need to look back and ask yourself, where I was in the last 15 years, last 10 years, last 5 years, compared to where I am now. Because to be sincere, we find that the problem that we are having right now are purely as a result of our expectation. If I was expecting to only learn next month. Maybe today I don't have any cash. That's a problem. I'll start saying that there's a problem. I've not yet saved enough. But you see, you are not looking back and saying, maybe 2 days before, you are not even able to afford food on the table. Right now, you can afford that food. It's only that the problem that you are having is maybe out of the expectation you set for yourself. It's good to set yourself stretching expectations, and I will encourage all of you, once you are setting your priorities, always give yourself that expectation that you will stretch a bit. If you don't attain it, well and good. But whatever you will attain, ensure that you have made a significant step in what you set for yourself. So once you are able to appreciate your process, you will find that even in a difficult situation, even in your prayers, when you come here and maybe find that the pastor is saying, pray for your family, you don't start with complaint. You will start by appreciating first where you are, where your family is, and everything that God has done unto your life. Then once you appreciate, and you can also try to remind God sacrifices you have made to ensure that your family also stand in the word of God, is when you can remind God that even if we are here, maybe I seek your guidance, I seek your redemption, we are in this problem, assist us. But if you are that person who complain a lot, even as a parent, for those who are parents, if you have a kid, the moment you enter into the house, it's a complaint. And another kid, the moment you enter into the house, will be telling you good things first before you present the problem. You'll see you have that tendency of appreciating this kid who can be able to see positive out of negative first. And that's what the world is expecting out of us. Once you are able to see positive things out of the negative things, that's a clear indicator that this person X is a problem solver, not just a problem identifier. And you see, this world, we are no longer interested in people who can identify problems. We are always interested with people who can solve problems. Once you package yourself very well, that you can be able to provide solution X, Y, and Z, you will find that there's always be a return on it. So that will be my teaching today. I don't know, Pastor, if I'm within the time frame. I think so, we are still within the time. Now we will go to the next segment, the why. We have tried to cover the how through those steps. Then the last bit, we'll try a bit to touch on the why. And this one I want us to read Isaiah 55, 5 to 9. Anybody who is there can read for us. Isaiah 55, 5 to 9.
Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that you knew not, these shall learn unto thee because of the Lord thy God, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the righteous man in his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, said the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts.
Thank you a lot. And the bit that I like more is especially from verse 8, whereby it says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways, neither are your ways my ways, said the Lord. For as heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and your thoughts than your thoughts. When I was reading this verse, that 55, 5 to 9, what you understand that once you are able to renew your mind, you'll also be able to understand the will of God. And once you are able to understand the will of God, you'll also be able to know that future is like unknown. The future of any individual is unknown, especially an individual who has renewed the mind and who understands the will of God in his life. And you will see that God is saying that his thoughts are not like our thoughts. So whatever he has planned for you at any given point is not exactly of maybe what you are expecting out of your life yourself. So sometimes I can be having like plans unto my wife. I want to attain X, Y, Z at this particular time, the way we are setting our goals. And that's why I was saying we need to set stretching goals unto ourselves. Because we don't know maybe what the God himself has planned for us. Maybe I'm saying I need to establish a business of 100,000. And maybe God himself has made a target for you is 500,000. So if you limit yourself, it's like you are limiting also what has been already planned for you. Because you know that this God is like a God who knew us even before we are born. He had plans for us, a plan unto our life. So whatever we are doing unto our life, it's like we are just like a living example of his plans unto our life. So once we're able to appreciate that your thoughts are not the same as those of God, and maybe whatever you are planning is contrary to maybe what God is also expecting unto your life. Also that bit will bring that bit of cohesion into our existence. Because I can't tell where Miss Yvette will be tomorrow. She can't tell where I will be tomorrow. I can't tell where Pastor will be tomorrow. And sometimes you see, as Christians, we usually become like judgmental from how we see people. Sometimes I can see you, I can judge you based on how you are looking. I can judge you based on your situation. I can judge you maybe based on your family setup. But you see, I can't be able, once I understand that the plans of God unto your life are like a mystery, I can't be able to tell where you will be tomorrow. That way, you'll find that once I'm able to understand that, even the way I will treat my neighbor, it will be out of love and knowing that this person might be the greatest person tomorrow. This person might be the angel, might be the miracle I'm looking. Because sometimes you'll find that this miracle we usually pray, maybe I'm praying that God, I need somebody to help me to move me from point X to Y. For those who are in school, maybe you are praying that God, I need a job somewhere. For those who are maybe in employment, you are praying for that promotion. Little did you know that maybe that person who is holding your promotion is sitting next to you. Maybe that person knows somebody somewhere. When I go and talk to maybe Mr. Simon, maybe assuming Mr. Simon is a CEO somewhere, I come and tell him I have a friend, my colleague, my friend is Lanat, is a good guy somewhere. I've known this guy somewhere doing ABCD. And then from nowhere, this guy will be saying, and I'm looking for somebody like somebody like whom you have described. And you find that that miracle will always be channeled through your neighbor. And that's why I usually tell people, whenever we are going out there to interact, once you are able to see things differently, and that will be as a result of renewing your mind. You are able to see things in a different perspective. Whoever you meet on your way, always treat this person as the miracle you are awaiting. Because you can't tell the vessel that God will use to move you from point X to point 1. And most of our miracle, don't expect that manners will come to heaven to earth. Most of our miracles are as a result of the people we are interacting with. These are people who will be able to move you from point X to point Y. These are people who can be able to give you an advice. An advice maybe you will have paid for thousands of shillings to receive that professional advice. Your friend can be able to freely offer you that advice on assumption or on a condition that your colleagues or your friends in church, this person maybe has told me the problem is experiencing, and based on my experience, this person, let me offer him this advice based on what I've also experienced in life. So once you understand that will of God unto your life, the key thing here is that even the correction on how you treat others will also change. I'm stressing on that because I've seen many people, we tend to treat other people fairly when we are on that down. When we are, let me say, on the lower, we usually say the lower class. When we are a bit on that looking for something, we tend to treat people a bit fairly. But when we get what we are looking for, you see that behavior now change drastically. I start looking down upon people. I have people I can greet, I have those I can't greet. I have people I can talk to, I have those I can't talk to. I have people now I can interact with, now I don't interact with other people. Reason? Because maybe I got what I wanted. And that should not be the case. This person you are looking down onto, tomorrow, he might come and be your boss somewhere. And he will remind you that you mistreated me when I was in need of you. Now you are the one in need of me. And that way you won't appreciate, because things will be tough a bit. Another reason, another why we need to change our minds, we'll also try to look at Romans 8:7-8. Romans 8:7-8, I'll read. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it's not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. And this verse is reminding us that whatever we are planning, if it's out of flesh, it's out of our own expectations, and we have not involved God in our plans, all is in vain. So this verse is reminding us that whatever you do in your life, when you are setting those expectations, when you are doing everything in what you are doing, always remember to involve God in your plan. And a simple way I can also challenge you to do, because I remember when I got saved, that was in Form 3 second semester, it's called second term. So yeah, what my pastor told me was that if you are doubting God, start by also trying and see what you will do in your life. Then once you move to that stage, you will know that you are dealing with a faithful God. And one way you can also try yourself, if at all I'm in a business and you tell God, if I get X amount of this business, I will bring Y amount in my church. And ask God to bless you with that business. And always remember, once you promise God that amount, always keep your word. Because if you get that amount and try to divert it, you'll find that even your plans now start going anyway. So, in whatever you do, I always say, even when you are seeking for that promotion, try to involve God and tell God, if I get this promotion, I will bring X amount as an appreciation gift unto the church, just to appreciate the process, the blessing you have done unto my life. If I get Y amount, and for those maybe who have not, because I know maybe some of us, we have not embraced that bit of tithing, because we see tithing as a process, and tithing is out of adoration. You need to be that good believer in order to do, let me say, faithful tithing. Even as a student, I remember I was being told, when your parent gives you 1,000 shillings as pocket money, always remember 100 shillings belong to God. So when you are attending that CU, remember to tithe that 100 shillings. If your parent is giving you 100 shillings, remember that 10 shillings is the tithe you are supposed to give. Once you start practicing on that, you'll find that you won't struggle even if you start earning a million. Because why am I saying that? If you are struggling to give 10 shillings out of 100, I'm trying to understand how will you be able to give 100,000 out of 1 million? That will be a simple question. If 10 shillings from 100 is giving you a headache, what about 100,000 out of 1 million? You will see that this 100,000 is a lot. And you'll start looking for ways on how to divert these 100 shillings. And that's why you find that sometimes that's why even our blessings are being limited. Even God is looking at your life and saying, for the little that I've entrusted you, you are not faithful with it. How can I trust you with more? So you need first to understand that in whatever you are doing, even that small business you are doing, some of us maybe are getting 250 per day, you are getting 100 shillings per day. In that 100 shillings, just know that your net amount out of that 100 shillings is 90 shillings. The 10 does not belong to you. The 10 belong to the church. And that way you find that even your progress will start growing slowly by slowly. Because God even knows that for whatever little that is entrusted in you, you are faithful and you are able to give back to the church. Because in whatever we do, as I said earlier, in whatever we do, the church comes first. So, in whatever you are doing out of your life, in whatever you are doing anywhere,